Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Reading Sunday worship service. My name is Andy Gatchell, and I am a member of the worship arts team. My pronouns are he and him. We choose to share our pronouns because we know that people of all genders are whole, holy, and loved. We welcome you here today as we join together to create a space where we nurture and explore individual spirituality, build a committed and loving community, and help heal the world. If this is your first time with us, we're so happy you have joined us. Please visit our webpage to learn more about our beloved community. That's uureading.org. There you can connect with our staff. For those of us here in the sanctuary this morning, please join us in Fellowship Hall for social hour after the service. Now, before I give you guys a little extra time and introduce the minister, please silence your phones. We have found it faster to just use the off button than to search for the mute function. So if you would please shut off your phones. This morning's service will be led by Reverend Mark Glovin. Mark served the First Unitarian Universalist Church in Rockland, Maine, not New York, as I'd hoped when I first saw that, because my wife grew up in Rockland County, New York, and Anyways, yeah. So he went to the funeral. He has a lot. Okay. For 14 years, leaving in August 2019 to hospice his mother. Determined to continue his community, he began working for Pinquis, a community action agency in Rockland, working to ensure that resources met needs in Knox County. Mark graduated from Star King School for the ministry in 2003, after receiving a call into ministry while majoring in philosophy at Clark University. A native New Englander and diehard Red Sox fan, Mark learned early in life about painful blessings. Mark also internalized lessons about beloved community, spending summers at overnight camps from the age of 6 until 23. During those summers, Mark developed a love of the outdoors and a deeply felt sense of our interconnectedness with each other, the earth, and the universe. Grounded in the belief that separateness is an illusion, Mark does his best to live out Thurman's admonition to do what makes you come alive, keeping in mind that what we do affects everything around us. And so, he believes, we are called to act wisely and generously with creativity and compassion. And now, let's take a deep breath, settle in, and welcome Reverend Mark to our service.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's great to be back here with you again. We are here to celebrate our life with gladness and to praise the gift of another day in a world of worry and trouble and grief. We come into each other's presence so we may together cultivate hope until that hope can blossom in our day. May our reason and our passion keep us true to ourselves, true to each other, and true to those shared visions of what we can together become. I brought with me, you may or may not remember, my first time here, I brought this little energy stick with me. We got to all play around in the sanctuary, so I always tend to bring some bit of clown gear with me. So today I brought the spinning earth because we're celebrating Earth Day, and I love the idea of that being on our altar, sort of sharing place with the chalice. So it reminds me of sort of the first and the seventh principle and that balance. So on one side, we have respect for the interdependent web of existence of which we're all a part, and the other pole is sort of the respect for the inherent worth and dignity of every individual. So it's sort of the balance of the individual and global. And so let it be a reminder to us this morning to honor both. As we light our chalice this morning with Unitarian Universalists all around the globe, I invite you to call into your heart the flame you kindle this morning, the flame of truth, of community, of commitment to love and justice. So please join me in reciting our chalice lighting words, which can be found on laminated sheets within your hymnals behind the pews. In the light of truth, the warmth of community, the fire of commitment, we gather this day. May the flame we now kindle be to us a symbol of the holiness we seek. Each week, we also recite our children's affirmation as a reminder of the most important elements of who we are. And please join me in reciting these words. We are Unitarian Universalists, the church of the open mind, the loving heart, and the helping hands.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Please rise in body or spirit. Join me in singing our opening hymn, which is Blue Boat Home. It's number 1064 in the Teal hymnal.
Testing. Can we hear me? Beautiful. Hello, everyone. This is time for all ages, so I ask, well, if there's any young ones, but also young at heart, can come up to the front, and I'll read us a story today. Oh, beautiful. Oh, yay. Yay. I love it. Amazing. Oh, beautiful. So, in honor of Earth Day, and as we celebrate Earth and her coming back from her rest and blooming, this book is called They Say Blue, which really allows us to see the beauty in the everyday and allows us to really see what's in front of us. And so, that is where we will begin our journey. So, they say blue. They say blue is the color of the sky. Which is true today. They say the sea is blue too. It certainly looks like it from here. But when I hold the water in my hands, it's as clear as glass. I toss it up in the air to make diamonds. What about a blue whale? Is a blue whale blue? I don't know. I've never seen a blue whale. But I don't need, oh, I missed a page. Just kidding. But I don't need to crack an egg to know it holds an orange yolk inside. I can't see my blood, but I know it's red. It moves around my body even when I'm perfectly still. And when we play, I feel it race faster to keep it up. A field of grass looks like a golden ocean. If I built a boat that was light enough, maybe I could sail upon it. Gray clouds, a storm is coming. I could never build a boat light enough to sail on a golden ocean. It's just plain old yellow grass anyways. They say spring means winter's over, but why does it feel so cold? Oh, could purple mean something new? It's warm at last. I stretched to the sky with my fingers wide open. I sprouted. Standing tall, I angle my green leaves to feel the sun. I think I'll stay quiet and listen to the sounds of summer. Fall arrives, and my leaves slowly turn brown. I drop them one by one and wiggle my toes in the soft pile at my feet. Winters come again. Now the rest of the world is quiet too. All white, up and down. Sometimes I can't tell the difference between the land and the sky. I close my eyes. Oh, I'm so sleepy. Black is the color of my hair. My mother's part it my mother parts it every morning like opening a window. Together, we watch the black crows bob and chatter in the field outside. We wonder what they're thinking when they look at us, what they see. Their dark eyes won't tell. They just pull their big bodies into the air. Tiny ink blots, a sea of sky. And that's the end of the story. Thank you. So I hope this story inspires you to see what's in front of you. And I'd just like to say, because I have a microphone right now, as we celebrate Earth Day, just remember that every day is Earth Day when Earth is our home. So thank you, everyone.
We take time during our service to light our candles of community and peace and justice. We light our red candle of community to signify our interconnection. Wherever you are in time and space, newcomer or longtime member, here in the sanctuary or joining us virtually, we light this candle holding you in love. As we light this candle, I invite you to speak aloud the name or names of people who are on your mind and heart. Let's bring them fully into this space with us. Isabel, Jane, Sophie. We light our blue candle of peace for all the places worldwide where people live with the threat of war and violence. This weekend, we recognize Memorial Day and hold in our hearts all those known and unknown to us lost to the violence of war. And we light our yellow candle of justice. May all people everywhere live their lives in freedom, and may we each do our part in the work for justice and liberation for all in our global community. As we recommit ourselves to the work of love and justice, may we each voice this commitment by saying, Amen. Amen. Please join me now for a few moments of prayer, first with words and then in the peace that silence permits. Take a breath with me. Remember the sky that you were born under. Know each of the stars' stories. Remember the moon. Know who she is. Remember the sun's birth at dawn. That is the strongest point in time. Remember sundown and the giving away to night. Remember your birth, how your mother struggled to give you form and breath. You are evidence of her life and her mother's and hers. Remember your father. He is your life also. Remember the earth whose skin you are. Red earth, black earth, yellow earth, white earth, brown earth. We are earth. Remember the plants, trees, animal life who all have their tribes, their families, their histories too. Talk to them. Listen to them. They are alive poems. Remember the wind. Remember her voice. She knows the origin of this universe. Remember, you are all people and all people are you. Remember, you are this universe and this universe is you. Remember, all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember, language comes from this. Remember, the dance language is that life is. Remember. If you have a joy or sorrow that you would like to honor through lighting a silent candle, I'll now invite you to come forward. Please allow those with limited mobility the opportunity to come up first.
This morning's reading is Deep in the Quiet Woods by James Weldon. Are you bowed down in heart? Do you but hear the clashing discords and the din of life? Then come away, come to the peaceful wood. Here, bathe your soul in silence. Listen. Now, from out the palpitating solitude, do you not catch yet faint, elusive strains? They're above, around, and within you everywhere. Silently listen. Clear, and still more clear they come. They bubble up in the rippling notes and swell in singing tones. Now let your soul run the whole gamut of the wondrous scale until, responsive to the tonic chord, it touches the diapason of God's grand cathedral organ, filling earth for you with heavenly peace and holy harmonies.
Thank you, Bonnie. That was beautiful. Here's our world. Beautiful and terrible things will happen. Be not afraid, because this is what we're about. We hold hope for each other when hope is hard to find. We plant seeds that will one day grow. We are prophets of a future that is not our own. We cannot do everything, but we can do something. So forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything that we see. That's how the light gets in. Some of you may remember from my previous visits to your pulpit that Jane Jepka was an old friend and mentor of mine. We shared a lot of things in common, one of which is that we both deeply loved our seminary, which was the Starr King School for the Ministry in Berkeley. And I met her first because we served on the board when I was a student there. I was drawn to that school because of its commitment to educate to counter oppressions. I wanted to go there because of its laser focus and latitude for each person's individual journey. They gave wide latitude in considering what was work and what would be considered academic work. And I wanted to go there because of its pedagogy, which recognizes that we're all teachers and that we're all learners. I wanted to go there because of its proximity to the San Francisco Bay Area, which was hallowed ground for me as the crucible and nursery that launched the Grateful Dead and the youth movement. I wanted to go there because of its connection to 14 other seminaries and divinity schools and learning centers. And I also wanted to go there because of its connection to UC Berkeley. And that loose association allowed me to take one class each semester at the university. Now, you may or may not know me enough by now to look. You may or may not be surprised to learn that I eased my way into academia. My first semester at Starr King, I took dream work, Kundalini yoga, and a music class called Song of the Soul. It was hardly the early church history and Hebrew scripture and congregational polity that peppered the last year of my classes as I sprinted to catch up and fulfill my core curriculum requirements. The first class that I took at UC Berkeley was tennis. Yep. World-renowned university at my fingertips, and I chose to take a class at their maybe world-renowned phys ed department. I did soon take advantage of the opportunity that I had there to study with and learn from the poets there. Robert Haas was teaching there. He was then the recent past U.S. Poet Laureate, and June Jordan was teaching there, whose poetry for the People Project was only the latest manifestation of her lifetime of melding literature and activism. I was fortunate to study with and to get to know Haas, who was a remarkable writer and also a remarkable human being. I was disappointed and had some grief that by the time I tried to initiate contact with June Jordan, she had turned quite ill, and learned that not long after I reached out to her, she died. I knew June Jordan as a poet, but in my time in Berkeley, I was learning of June Jordan, the fierce, unflinching activist. That woman with a prodigious, prolific output of poems and essays and other writings. No one could ever have accused June Jordan of ignoring or avoiding social ills. A longtime columnist for The Progressive, she challenged injustice and inequity with continuous reflections on race and class and gender issues. If I had the opportunity to study and talk with June Jordan, I would have asked her about one of her shortest, simplest poems. It's written for a friend, another momentous writer, and was thus titled simply For Alice Walker. And the whole poem goes like this: Redwood Grove and war, you and me talking, Congo, gender, grief and ash. God, it's all so huge. You say, these sweet trees, this tree. That's it. Redwood Grove and war, you and me talking, Congo, gender, grief and ash. God, it's all so huge. You say, these sweet trees, this tree. What, I have wondered, is it that is all so huge? Knowing what I know about June Jordan, I've always assumed that she means the issues of militarism related to whatever war was currently being waged, the issues of colonialism related to the Congo, the issues of oppression and inequity related to gender, the prevalence of, as she puts it, grief and ash. And I suppose all of that relates to what another poet, James Weldon Johnson, wrote in words you heard just a few moments ago. Are you bowed down in heart? Do you but hear the clashing discords and din of life? Does anyone here relate to that? Anyone here feel a bit bowed down in the heart? Given what is transpiring in our state, given what's going on in our nation, given the state of the world, of earth, given what we contend with in our lives and in our families. Perhaps the better question might be, could there possibly be anyone here today who is so oblivious, so anesthetized, so asleep at the switch that they don't feel a bit bowed down in the heart? Anyone here somehow managed to stopper your ears against, as Johnson calls it, the clashing discords and din of life? So I'm picturing these two brilliant black women writers walking through that redwood grove, feeling like the social ills of the world are so immense. And so she says, God, it's so huge. I'm imagining their distress and their discouragement, the sense of trying to survive in a system founded on the kind of supremacy and privilege that left them as permanent outsiders several times over. And I'm seeing them on that stroll bowed down. But what follows is neither discord nor din. Instead, it seems almost incongruous. Even in the poem, there's an exclamation, an exultation. These sweet trees, this tree. And suddenly their attention is turned and they catch, as James Weldon Johnson puts it, faint, elusive strains bubbling up in rippling notes and swelling and singing tones. Heavenly peace and holy harmonies. But who goes from talking about the war to a celebration of trees? Who goes from grief and ash and the hugeness of it all to being able to see this tree? Who? Well, I do. Don't you? Walking up to this building with the weight of the world, and then these sweet irises, this iris, sauntering on a weary Sunday afternoon, feeling the struggles within and beyond these walls. And then these sweet birds, this pileated woodpecker, driving to another meeting about another issue or another problem, another seemingly impossible challenge. And then these sweet trees, this old maple. Are you bowed down in heart, asked James Weldon Johnson, who surely knew that feeling well as a black man in this country in the early 20th century. Are you bowed down in heart? Then come away, come to the peaceful wood. Here, bathe your soul in silence. Friends, interdependence isn't all ought and must and should. Interdependence isn't only about recognizing all the ways that we've befouled the air and the water and the land. Interdependence isn't just about expanding our scope here to recognize that environmentalism is not necessarily an effective tool with which to build environmental justice. I want to say that our Unitarian Universalist commitment to environmental transformation isn't at all at odds with our need for spiritual sustenance or our deep need to bathe our souls in silence. What got June Jordan and Alice Walker's attention, what called out to James Weldon Johnson, was beauty. Not some indulgent aesthetic experience used to avoid or deny war and gender and grief and ash, but beauty, deep and profound and soul-stirring, soul-sustaining beauty. When we act to address environmental degradation, and when we show up and speak up with marginalized communities who bear an unjust burden of that environmental degradation, when we commit to and engage in sustainable policies and practices, these aren't actions and commitments that are at odds with or even other than spirituality. They are themselves spiritual acts, embodying in deep ways our spiritual understanding of interdependence. Restoring the world's beauty, protecting the world's beauty, noticing and celebrating and giving thanks for the world's beauty. These are acts of deep spiritual engagement. And interdependence is nowhere more evident than where beauty is concerned. We're wired to seek, to see, to hear beauty. Our souls survive, our souls are sustained by, and they thrive on beauty. Without it, we may exist, we may persist, but we cannot flourish. When we fail to honor or to preserve, to enhance, to live in harmony with the beauty of this world, it's not just environmentally devastating, it's an attack on our very souls. We diminish ourselves when we imagine that spirituality is that which attends only to some personal, private, interior domain, away from the discord and the din. Then we have forgotten that heaven is here on earth, and we make it and we drink it in. And I want to be clear, the way ahead for all of us is challenging. The days ahead invite us to discomfort and uneasiness and questioning. But be assured that there will be beauty. There will also be beauty, soul-salving, soul-sustaining, uplifting beauty. It most certainly is all so huge. And there most certainly will also be these sweet trees. This tree. May it be so for each of us and for all of us.
Okay. Alrighty then. Each Sunday, UUCR gives away half the money received in the collection plate to a nonprofit organization that shares our UU values. It's a simple yet powerful way for each of us to help heal the world. By learning about and supporting the good works of charitable organizations and becoming more involved in our community. Our Share of the Plate recipient for April is UU Mass Action. Since 2006, UU Mass Action has been organizing and mobilizing the 20,000 plus Unitarian Universalists in 142 congregations across Massachusetts to confront oppression and engage in social justice work. Its list of priorities includes immigrant justice, economic and housing justice, climate and environmental justice, decarceration and ending solitary confinement, and the rights of Indigenous people. In these times of great political injustice, uncertainty, and fear, UMass Action has also been a leader in organizing Hands Off Boston, No Kings Boston, and the Boston Labor Day Parade. Over the years, members of the Love is a Verb team have joined with several area UU congregations to meet with Senator Jason Lewis to discuss immigration, climate change, and housing. If this is your first time with us, please let the plate pass you by. Your presence is gift enough. Our morning offering will now be gladly given and gratefully received. Please give generously to our Share the Plate offering to support UU Mass Action and the mission of UUCR. It is now my mission to attempt the impossible and step into Melissa's shoes. Our congregation in life. As many of you know, Melissa is currently traveling in Italy. As many of you don't know, I am not the least jealous of Melissa traveling in Italy. Be that as it may. I will be filling her shoes this morning, if I can, with a few reminders and announcements. In our congregation in life this week, we have offerings you may be interested in, including the Buddhist meditation group, which meets both in person and via Zoom at 7:15 on Mondays. This Tuesday, our social and crafty drop-in will be held on Zoom from 7 to 9 p.m. On Wednesday, our newly formed Building Resistance and Resilience group meets in person in Fellowship Hall and via Zoom from 7 to 8:30 p.m. We would also like to remind you that Recovery Dharma was canceled this week. Next Sunday, Reverend Paul Sprecher will be our guest minister with a service entitled Grace Happens. We are still collecting books for our More Than Words book drive. Any questions can be directed to Ann Mark while Melissa is away. Books can be dropped off in the church or insert 3 other locations here. I don't know where, sorry. That's what it says. Okay, there is still time to register to join us this summer at Ferry Beach, which is a really fun place, especially if there are people you love. Details and the link to register can be found in the weekly newsletter. Lastly, please make sure to mark your calendars for March 3rd, when Melissa will return to lead our Please make sure to mark your calendars for May 3rd, when Melissa will return to lead our Beltane celebration. I get that part right. Many thanks to Reverend Mark Glovin for leading our service today, and to each of you for being a vital part of our congregational life. And now, please rise and embody your spirit and join in singing our closing hymn, number 163, in the green hymnal, For the Earth Forever Turning.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thanks for being here this morning. Just want to remind you all to remain seated so we can all hear the postlude, be present for that last little bit of worship. Go in peace, my friends. Remember who you are today. On this glorious spring day, remember your glorious origins in the great radiance. Remember the divine spark in your core. Remember your ancestors, the stars. You are the universe slowly becoming aware of itself. You are earth praying. You are earth singing. Remember. Go in peace.